Hi guys, so today we are going to talk about linear inequalities. So when solving inequality equations, remember if you divide or multiply by a negative number, you must flip the inequality symbol. So that means if I divide and it was a less than, it's going to change to a greater than or vice versa. On a number line, we use open circles when we're dealing with not equal to, so that's less than or greater than. We used a closed circle, that's a typo, when it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. So this is whenever it has that equal to piece. I use a dotted line when it's the same as the open circle, and I use a solid line for the same thing that we use the closed circle for. We shade up on a graph when it's, I'm writing the word graph. We shade up on a graph when it's greater than. So greater than or equal to. And we shade down when it's less than or less than or equal to. Okay. So when we are solving, we are going to be solving just like we would a linear equation, but now we're going to have an inequality symbol. But our process is still the same. So we're still going to simplify by distributing first. So I'm going to bring down everything else that I didn't distribute. And this is going to give me negative 3x plus 9 once I distribute. Now I want to go ahead and combine my like terms. So I have 8x and negative 6x on this side. That will give me negative 2x. And on the right side, I have 5 plus 9. That is going to give me 4. I'm sorry, 5 plus 9 is not 4. 5 plus 9 is 14. And everything that we did not combine is going to continue to bring down. So now we need to isolate x. My end goal is I want to have x's on this side and my numbers on this side. So I want to get rid of the number that is on the left. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So that's going to bring down the negative 2x. This is going to turn into a 10. And I'm going to bring down the negative 3x. Same thing, I want to move the x. And I'm going to get, oh, I made a mistake. 8x take away 6x is positive 2. So when I add these together, that's going to give me 5x. It's greater than or equal to 10. And I'm running out of space, so I'm just going to continue it over here. 5x greater than or equal to 10. Divide by 5 on both sides, and we get x is greater than or equal to 2. Okay, so for the second part, if x is a number in the interval 0 to 4, so I'm going to make a number line with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so when I say 0 to 4, I'm talking about the numbers 0 all the way to 4. Okay. When we were talking about our inequality, we were talking about when x is greater than or equal to 2. So I'm starting at 2, and I'm talking about anything bigger than it. So I'm looking for where these two things overlap. Okay, so they overlap at the points 2, 3, and 4. So my answer would be 2, 3, and 4 because that is where they intersect. Oh. Okay, question number 2 was asking about the graph. Remember when we have inequalities, we have shading. So this graph specifically is shaded below the line, which means it has to be less than or equal to. And then if we look at the line itself, it's solid, so it must be less than or equal to. So I can automatically cross off choices number 2 and 4. And if you look at the y-intercepts, this one has a y-intercept of -4, and this one has a y-intercept of 3. And the y-intercept for this graph is -4, so it must be choice 3. Yeah. Last but not least, writing a system of inequalities. That's the same thing as a 3x6 table. There's not a ton of space here, so I'm just going to go ahead and try to squeeze it in. Okay, so we have seats, tickets, adult, child, and our total for seats is 200, and our total for ticket prices is 1,500. So we don't know how many adult and child there are, and we know the cost is $12.50 for an adult and $6.25 for a child. So when I'm doing inequalities, I have to think of my symbol. So maximum means I can have less than or equal to that amount, and greater than means greater than. Okay, so there's my equations. If I want to graph these things, I need to get them into y equals first. So for the first one, I would have to subtract x over to the other side. And we get y less than or equal to 200 minus x. I'll go ahead and graph that first. This is going to be shaded down and a solid line. The other line, I'm going to switch colors. I'm kind of out of room here. It's 12.5x plus 6.25y greater than 1,500. Subtract this on both sides. So we get 6.25y greater than 1,500 minus 12.5x divided by 6.25. And we get y is greater than 240 minus 2x. This one is going to shade up and be a dotted line. So 240 down 2 over 1. And that's going to shade this way. Okay, and our solution is where those two things intersect. So our solution is in this entire space. So Marta claims that selling 30 adult tickets, which is here, and 80 child tickets, which is here, will result in the cinema meeting its goal. Explain why she is either incorrect or correct. Okay, so this is incorrect because the coordinate 3080 is not in the double shaded area. That's it.